Hello, good night. Buenas noches, compañera.
Buenas noches, María Graciela.
Buenas noches.
Hello, good evening. How are you? Carla Gabriela, welcome.
Good evening, teacher.
Hello, teacher.
Good
Hello,
Good
teacher.
evening.
Good evening,
Good
teacher.
evening. Nice to see you. How are you today?
Fine, teacher.
Fine, thank you.
Okay. I sent you the WhatsApp group. I don't know if all of you have already joined the WhatsApp group. Yes? No? I have seen some comments. Can you hear me correctly? Yes?
Yeah, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Okay, nice. That's good to know. Okay, remember yesterday we were working with how questions. Yes, how fast, how good, how well, how long, and so on. So today we'll continue working on an exercise with how questions. We're gonna work on this.
Teacher,
Okay. Yes, tell me. Tell
I
me.
will listener this class
You will not be in the class?
I listener
Okay. Okay, that's okay.
because
You are
I'm
a
driving
listener.
now.
Okay, that's okay. No problem. Don't worry. But
Thank
you
you,
can
teacher.
hear me and I can hear you. That's it. No problem. When you get home, okay, just try to get in the class and there's no problem. Okay. If you can see here, we have how question. You see, for example, the word how can talk about a lot of different things. We use it to talk about the way we do something. How do you get to school, for example? You say, how do you get to school? I walk, I go by bus, I go by car. Okay? Or how do you get to work? You say, well, I take the bus, or I take the microbus, or I drive my car, or I walk. So, question with how. It says how plus adjective or how plus adverb. For example, how old refers to age. How old are you? Okay, you already know those questions. How old? Age. How old are you? In my case, I am 61 years old. It says how long. Remember yesterday we studied how long. How long? Length or length of time. Remember last time we were asking questions like, for example, how long do you watch TV? How long do you spend in your cell phone? Okay, that means time. How tall refers to height. Okay, how tall? Tall. Remember how tall are you? It says I'm short, I am medium height, or I am very tall, or I am tall. How tall are you? For example, in my case, I am 1 meter 67 centimeters. Okay, medium height. How far? Remember, how far refers to distance. For example, I say, how far do you live from your work? Or how far do you live from San Salvador City? I live, you say, for example, 4, 5, 10 kilometers, or I live 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers, okay? Far, how far means the distance. Here you have how often, we have studied how often. How often do you practice your English at home? How often do you go to classes? Okay, you say every day. Remember, how many refers to numbers. For example, how many brothers and sisters do you have? Or how many CDs do you have? How many friends do you have? Okay, so refers to a number, quantity, and how much also. But remember, how much is, it refers to especially liquid, things you cannot count, okay? How many things you can count, and how much things you cannot count, okay? I say, for example, how much coffee do you drink a day? How much water do you drink? Okay, how much soda do you drink a day? How much milk? Remember, how much refers to things we cannot count, and how many things we can count. Do you understand this, more or less? Question with how? Or do you have a question? Do it. Okay. It says, pay attention. When questions contain the adjectives tall, high, long, wide, deep, we put the adjective in the answer. Okay. Notice the word order. How tall is Adam? Adam is 1.7 meters tall. Okay. Do you understand, ladies, gentlemen? No problem. Okay. I suppose you can see better now, right? Okay, here. Okay, you have, remember the expression we studied yesterday? How often? How long? Okay. We studied. Now, there is an exercise here. We are going to check the exercises. What are we going to do? In your notebook, you can do it in your notebook, that would be better. Okay, we're gonna work on exercise D. It says here, complete the questions using much and many. Remember, much. How much for things we cannot count, and how many for things we can count. Let's try. Okay, the first activity. This exercise, complete the question using much. How much or how many? If you have questions, do it.
Many.
Okay. Listen, fill the rest of the sentence. Did your new dress cost? Cost is when you talk about money. Then when you talk about money, you use how much. You say how much money, how much money, how much money.
How much?
How much?
Exactly. Say how much did your new dress cost? How much? Okay, Nelson. How much?
How much?
How much? Remember when you talk about prices, you know, money, you say how much is a soda, for example. How much is a cup of coffee? How much is a car? How much is the house? So when you talk about money, cost is how much. Try number 2. Milk. Remember, liquids, you cannot count the liquids. Okay, here, you cannot count the liquids. Milk,
How much?
okay, sorry. Okay, milk, exactly. Talk about like how much water, how much coffee, how much milk. In this case, yes. How much
Money.
milk? Yeah, no, how much milk
Mhm.
is there in the fridge? Okay? How much milk is there in the fridge? Fridge is the same refrigerator, okay? How about number 3? Students.
How many?
How many?
Yeah, how many students? Okay, for example, how many students are there in this class? Oh, you say there are 20 students, there are 25 students, there are 30 students. How many students? I can count. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what about number 4? People work here.
Much.
Can
How
you
much?
count?
How many?
Yeah, but the question is,
Many.
Many.
how many? Can you count people? Yes.
How many?
How many people are there in the class? Ah, you say in the class there are 10
How many
people,
people?
20. Yeah, you can count the people. For example, how many people do you live with in your house? Or how many people live in your house? You say, well, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1. Okay, how
Teacher,
many people? Yes, tell me.
una pregunta, teacher. Aquí
Do
estamos
it, do it.
usando, a mí me cuesta entenderle para que le voy a mentir, pero aquí estaríamos usando los sustantivos
Oh,
contables e incontables.
yes, that's it. How
Y en
many?
este caso, ajá,
Yeah, how many
es,
you can count? Continue.
en este caso, how
Continue
people
with the question.
work here, estamos hablando que sería un contable.
Yes, people, yes. People, student, remember things you can count. And much things you cannot count. Liquid, for example, you cannot count. How much coffee do you drink? How much water do you need? How much milk? Yes, countable, uncountable. Okay.
Water.
So in this case, for example, when you talk about price, cost, how much? For example, I ask you, how much does the water cost, a bottle of water cost? How much does a soda cost? When you talk about money, price, milk, how much milk? Because you cannot count the milk. How many students are there in the class right now? Or you say, how many people work here? Okay, how many people live in your house, for example? You say, in my house live 3 people, or 7 people, or 10 people. Okay, let's go number 5. Water.
How much?
Much.
How much?
Yeah, right. How much? Remember, liquids. You cannot count liquids. How much water do you drink every day? I drink a lot of water, or I drink much. Okay. Then you say, for example, ants. Have you got?
Many.
How
Ants.
many?
How
How many?
Yeah, how many ants? Remember, the expression "have you got" is the same. Do you have? How many ants do you have? Okay. Remember, ants is your father's brother, your father's sister, or your mother's brother, your mother's. Okay, how many ants you got? Chocolate, do you eat?
Many.
How
Many. How many?
No, how much? How much chocolate? Okay, listen. There
How
is one thing.
much?
How much?
Yes, how much
Chocolate.
chocolate? Okay, listen. In general, you say how much chocolate. But if you count the bars of chocolate or pieces of chocolate, you say I eat 2 bars of chocolate a day. In that case, yes, you can say how many bars of chocolate do you eat? Because you can count 1 bar, 2 bars of chocolate. But when you speak in general, say how much chocolate. It's like a coffee, for example. I ask you, how much coffee do you drink a day? But you tell me, I drink 1 coffee, 2 coffees, or 2 cups of coffee, or 3 cups of day. But you count the coffee in cups. So I can ask you, how many cups of coffee do you drink? How you say? If you count the liquid waves, yes, you can say many. How much water do you drink? 2 glasses. or 3 glasses or 4 glasses of water. Then you drink many glasses of water. So remember the difference. When you count, you use many. When you don't count, you use much. In this case, how much chocolate do you eat? I eat much, or I eat 1 bar, or I eat 1 piece of chocolate. Okay? No problem?
No.
Now no, okay, no problem with count nouns and must noun. Remember, how much, how many. Remember, we are studying question with how, and how much is very common, and how many. Okay, now let's continue with next part, number 2, number 1, number 2. Fill in the gap with the words given on the right. Here you're gonna make the questions. How long, how tall, how fast, how often, how well, how good, the words we studied yesterday, okay? But remember, look at the answer first. Okay, remember, how old is age? You talk about years. How fast, how long, how deep, how wide, how tall, how high, how big, how often. Okay, read the answers. Is the river, remember River Thames. Read the answers first and make the question afterwards. Take your time, okay? Relax. Don't worry, don't rush.
How long?
How
How
long is
long?
the River
How
Thames?
Yes,
How
how long?
long is
For
the river?
example, yes, how long is the river Thames? Like you say, how long is the Amazon River? Still, how long is the Amazon? In El Salvador, for example, how long is Lempa River? You say it's like 100 kilometers, for example, right? So how long? Good. Number 2 is your internet connection.
fast? How fast?
Okay, yeah, fast. Okay, you say how fast. Remember, for example, if you have a car, I ask you how fast does your car run, or your bicycle or motorcycle, or you, for example, how fast can you run? I can run very fast, or I don't run very fast. So how fast exactly? How far is your internet connection? Oh, you say my internet connection is very fast. Okay, good. You're doing good so far. Okay, Mount Everest.
How tall?
How high?
Okay,
Hi.
listen.
How high is
Tall
more?
is for people. Tall is for people, okay?
Okay.
For example, I ask you, Nelson, how tall are you?
Teacher,
Yes, Armando, how tall are you?
in the first is
Yes,
not deep.
yeah. The first one,
In the first
what's the question?
one is deep.
Yeah, yeah. So it can be, okay, on the first, talking about the river, you can make different questions.
Mm.
You can ask, for example, how long is the river Thames? You can ask, how deep? No, how deep? For example, how deep is the Atlantic Ocean? How deep is the Pacific Ocean? How deep is the river? You can say, okay, how deep is the river Thames? Also, you can say why, why, how wide, okay? So with the river, you can ask many questions. How deep, how long, how wide is the river? Oh, it's very wide. It's 1 kilometer, for example. Or I ask you, for example, how deep is Lempa River? How wide, you remember wide, how wide is the Lempa River? So on the first one, you can ask different questions. So it's acceptable. How deep, how wide, how long, okay? No problem. Okay, Mount Everest. In this case, remember, tall is for people. High is for things.
high.
For example, if I ask you, how high is the Empire State Building in United States? Okay, how high? Okay, so in this case, Mount Everest should be how high is Mount Everest? Not how tall. Okay? Only for people. Like I asked you, Nelson, how tall are you? Armando, how tall are you? Ana Graciela, how tall are you? Okay?
Perdón, repeat.
Good. How tall? How tall are you? Your height. Okay?
Ay, que
Are you
tan
short?
tan
Medium?
alto.
Yeah. Yeah, right. You're it.
Tall para
How tall?
alturas cortas.
So tall is for people.
Oh,
How tall is for people. And high is for things, animals.
animal o cosas.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. Okay.
Bien.
Lake. Okay. Here is your grandmother.
Por eso en la 4 es high, ¿verdad? For high. Perdón,
No,
en la
number 3.
3, en la 3.
Yeah, number 3 is high. How
Oh,
high is Mount Everest? Yes. Number 3, yes. How about number 4? Is your mother? What question can you ask?
tall.
How tall?
How old?
How old is your
Yeah,
grandmother?
yeah, how old? Yeah, you can say, yeah, if you're talking about your grandmother, I suppose, yes, we're going to talk about age. How old is your grandmother? Ah, my grandmother is 90 years old, or is 80 years old, okay? Or my grandmother is 65 years old. Or you can say, how tall is she? Ah, okay, she is 1 meter 50 centimeters, for example, or she is 1 meter 70 centimeters. Remember, but in this, different questions can be asked, okay, no problem. But in this case, I see better how old is your grandmother. Okay, how about number 5? Is Lake Baikal?
Hawaii. Hawaii is like
Sorry, how wide or how deep?
my God.
I did. How deep?
How deep, for example, how deep is the lake? Okay, here in El Salvador, how deep is Coatepeque Lake?
How deep
How
profundo.
deep is Apulo Lake? Okay, maybe you say, well, 5 kilometers deep, 10 kilometers deep.
Ay,
We don't know, right? Okay, remember that when you go to a swimming pool, if you cannot swim, you are very careful, right?
ay,
Because you don't know how deep the swimming pool is. Yes, you say, how deep is the swimming pool? Ah, the swimming pool is, they tell you this side is 1 meter, but the other side is 2 meters, 3 meters deep. You say, no, I cannot swim. It's too deep. Okay, so number 5 should be how deep, or also you can say how wide the lake, right? Okay, how about number 6? Do you go to the museum?
How often?
Do you go to the museum? Exactly. Okay, Armando. How often you go to the museum? Ah, I never go to the museum. Remember the answer. Oh, I go to the museum once a year, or I go to the museum every month. Okay, let's see. Next is number 7. Is that road? Can this lorry pass along it? Is that road? Remember, road
how long?
is like a street. Road is like a street. Okay. So is that road? Can this lorry pass along it?
How wide?
How wide exactly? Okay. For example, if I ask you, how wide are the streets in San Salvador? How wide are the streets in San Salvador? Are they wide or are they narrow? The streets.
Not wide.
How wide? Okay. Well, here in San Salvador, our streets are not very wide. They are narrow. Okay. Not many cars can fit on the street. Okay, so number 7 is how. Okay, you gotta hear this. How wide? How wide? Okay, number 8 is the memory of your cell phone.
How big?
The
How
memory,
big?
how big? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How big is the memory of your cell phone? Oh, you can say my memory is 10 gigas, for example, or 15 gigas. Or actually, the latest one, I guess they are 100 gigas or 150 gigas, right? Capacity. Okay. Okay. So far, do you understand the use of how with different kind of questions? Yes. Remember, yesterday we studied how often, how well, how good. Okay. Now we are studying another words using how. How old are you? How fast can you run? Okay. How long? Talking about distance. How long do you walk from home to school? No problem with this, ladies, gentlemen.
It's okay.
Okay. Okay, that's okay. Let's move on. Okay, now you're gonna do the same for the following exercise 3. Says complete the question with how. Similar to this one, okay? This is almost the same. Exercise 3 is almost the same with using how old, how fast, how deep, how long, and so on. Okay, let's read this one. Take your time. Read the answer first. And later you're gonna use how long, how far, how big, and so on.
How wide is the
But
path?
read the answer first, okay? In the meantime, while you read the answer and check, I'm gonna call out your names, okay? So please take your time, give me chance to call out your name. Okay, Ana Graciela Ramos. Okay,
Present,
here
teacher.
you are. Thank you. Anderson Jeremy Molina. No? Andrea María Franco Rivas. Andy. Armando Antonio Albanés Martínez.
Here, the chair.
Okay, nice. Think about the possible questions. Blanca Stephanie Vázquez. Karina Beatriz Núñez de Figueroa. Not here. Carlos Adolfo García Crespo. He doesn't come, right? Okay, Carlos Aníbal Martínez Ramos. Charlie is not here. Daniela Alejandra Martínez Molina.
Present, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Diana Stephanie Salmerón Hernández.
Present, teacher.
Nice. Diana Patricia Carranza Paz.
Present teacher.
Thank you. Okay,
Teacher.
Elsa Noelia Portillo. Yeah, tell me.
Blanca Stephanie says he have a bad internet.
Okay, okay. Thank you. I'm gonna take her as a person.
I'm here.
What's her name?
Blanca Stephanie.
Okay, Elsa Noelia. Okay, Blanca Stephanie. Okay, thank you. And Elsa Noelia, right? You're here. Thanks.
Yes, I'm here.
Emma Débora Rodas Andrade.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Emma. Floricia Mengíbar Vigil. I saw you
Present,
around here.
teacher.
Okay. Sí, Henry Alexander Hidalgo Rivas.
I'm here, teacher.
Henry. Okay,
I'm here,
nice.
teacher.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you. Ingrid Esmeralda Cornejo Osorio.
Present, teacher.
Okay, Henry. Thank you. Jaime Iván Ventura Castro.
I am here, teacher.
Okay, thanks. Karina Yamilet González Pineda.
Present teacher.
Nice. Carla Gabriela García de Avendaña.
Present, teacher.
Okay, good. María Imelda Mengíbar Gómez.
Present teacher.
María Wendy Rodríguez Cibrián.
I'm here, teacher.
Nice. Marisol de Los Ángeles Cortés González.
Present teacher.
Okay, thanks. Mauricio Alberto Jiménez Majano. No, doesn't come. Nelson Rutilio.
Here I am,
Oriana.
teacher.
Okay,
Here I am,
good.
teacher.
Thanks. Ricardo. Okay, yeah. Thank you. I can see you. Ricardo Belloso Ruiz. No. Ronald Alexander Rodríguez. Are you there, Ron? Not. Rosa Elizabeth Barrientos de Márquez.
Present.
Okay, thanks. Ruth Noemí Núñez de Pértica.
I'm here.
Okay, thanks. And Tamar Alexandra Portillo. Okay, thank you. Okay, have you thought about the possible questions, the
Teacher,
answer? Tell
teacher,
me. Tell me,
yo
tell me.
no sé si ya me llamó
What's your name?
Andrea Franco.
Oh yeah, I did. Okay, hold on.
Bueno, gracias.
Andrea Maria Franco. Yes, I called you. I got you now. Okay. Franco
Ok,
Rivas, right?
sí,
Okay, thank you.
bueno,
Okay, good. Thanks. Remember, if you don't hear your name, tell me, because I continue calling the rest of the people. Okay. So remember, they might be different possible questions, okay, with how. When you're ready, let me know. Remember, the questions you have them here. How old, how fast, how long, how deep, how wide, how tall, how high, how big, how often. And the exercise when you have them. Maybe I'm gonna make it bigger, sorry. I'll make it smaller so you can have a better view of the words and the questions like this, right? Questions, is that okay? Questions and possible answers. Is the Panama Canal? It's 1.50 meters wide. So the question should be,
Teacher.
How long?
How wide?
How wide?
How wide
okay,
is
how
the Panama
wide?
How
Canal?
wide?
Yeah, remember, that's why I'm telling you, read the answer first. Because in the answer, it gives you the answer here. Why? So the question should be, how wide? Okay, how about number 2? Is the nearest cinema to your house? It's about 1 kilometer.
How
Okay,
far?
so the question should be, okay, how far?
How
For
long?
example, yeah, for example, if I ask you, in your neighborhood, how far is Super Selector in your neighborhood? Is 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers? How far? Yes. How far is the bus station from your house, for example?
How far?
Okay.
Okay, so how far should be number 2? How about number 3? Have you been studying English for about 5 years?
Teacher,
Yes, tell me.
I have a question in tier 1. It's not correct
Uh,
if I say, how long time have you been?
no, I mean, not because when you say how long, it's talking about time. Okay, so it's not necessary to say time again.
Mm.
I mean, since the moment I ask you, for example, if I tell you, I live in United States 10 years,
Mhm.
okay, you're gonna ask me how long, okay, were you in United States? Oh, I was there 10 years. So it's not necessary to say how long time, okay,
Okay.
because How long indicates talking about time. For example, you say, okay, you go to the hospital, you go to the Seguro Social. So it takes, it takes a lot of time to pass with the doctor. Then I tell you, for example, how long have you been waiting for the doctor? How long? You say, I have been here 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Okay, so it's not necessary to say how long time, because how long already means time. Okay, how long have you been waiting for the bus? Oh, I have been waiting half an hour, for example. I have been waiting 45 minutes, or I have been waiting for an hour. How long have you been waiting for your pizza delivery, for example? You say, I have been waiting for an hour. So it's not necessary, Armando, to say how long time. No, only how long. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So it says, how long have you been studying English? For about 5 years. Okay. How long? In your case, for example, how long have you been studying English?
3 months, 4 months.
2 months. Okay. 2 months, 3 months, 5 months. Okay, good. That's the idea. How long? Talking about time.
Thank you.
Okay, number 4. Is your mother now? She's nearly 40.
Older.
All.
40. Nearly 40 is, for example, I can say, I suppose Henry is about 25 years. I can say Henry's about 25. So I'm talking about what? I'm talking about age. So the possible question should be, okay, remember it says, is your mother now? She's nearly 40.
How old?
All.
So,
How
old?
old is
exactly,
now?
exactly. How old is mother? Remember, it's not necessary to say years old. She's nearly 40 years old. No, no, you can say only, how old are you, for example? Or you say, I am 20, I'm 25, I'm 30, I'm 50. It's not necessary to say years old. You say, no, I'm 50, I'm 40, I'm 30, I'm 25. That's it. Okay, now here is the swimming pool.
Hi.
Is 1 meter, is 190 meters a deep
How deep?
end?
Deep.
How deep?
Yeah. Okay, how deep? Good. So remember, you say, how deep is the swimming pool? Oh, you say this. Okay, 1 or 2 meters deep. Okay, good. So far, so good. No problem? No? Number 6. Do you go to the theater?
How often?
Only about twice a year. Okay, you got it. That's easy. Remember, we have been studying how often. How often do you go to the theater? Or theater, when you say a British. Okay, only about twice a year. How often? Good. Number 7. Can a manly train go nearly 600 kilometers an hour?
In
Maglev train.
how fast?
Okay.
How fast?
Yeah, how fast can a manly train go? 600 kilometers an hour. Okay, how fast? Very fast, right? 600 kilometers an hour, that's very fast. Okay, number 8. Let's move on. Is the village not very big? Only about 2,000 people live there.
Big. How big is the
Okay,
village?
okay, exactly. How big? Okay. For example, how big is San Salvador? How big is San Salvador? How big is Santa Tecla? How big is Ilopango? Okay? You say how big? San Salvador is very big, right? It's about, you say, 2 million people live there. Okay, good. So far, no problem, right? With how questions. Now let's continue. Okay, last. 5 questions starting with how.
Check. Check.
Okay? Right question starting with how. Okay, it says, if you are well, how do you feel? So if you are well, the question should, how are you? Read the other answers, okay, and try to make the question in either how long, how fast, how far, so on. Think about it, okay? Take your time. I suppose you can see them. Are all of you already registered in the WhatsApp group? Yes? No? Not yet? Okay, take your time. If you want to write down notebook the answers and you can make the question, don't worry. Do it. Take your time, okay? Relax. Don't worry. We're gonna make the question. No questions, no problem. Blanqui, Daniela, Florencia, Elsa, Diana, no, Diana, Patricia, Diana. Okay, Carla, Carlos, Henry, problem. Marisol, Emma, Ruth, Rosa, Ricardo, Bellosa. Is Ricardo here? Are you here, Ricardo? I call out your name, but you didn't answer.
Teacher,
Yes, tell me.
fíjese que me
Tell me,
está fallando bastante la señal.
what's your name?
Blanca
What's
Stephanie.
your name? Okay, Blanca Stephanie. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Teacher, aquí
You
Ricardo
can work.
Belloso.
Okay,
Me está
yeah, I
fallando
call
bastante
your
la
name.
señal.
Okay. Okay, Blanky, no problem. Just try to do the sentences. Don't worry. Okay, Ricardo Belloso, right? Okay, I got you, Ricardo.
Thank you,
Okay, I
teacher.
got it. Okay, no problem. Just try to, if you can work, do it. If you not, you can do it later, okay? That's it. Okay, who is missing? Anderson Jeremy is not here yet. Okay, Tamar, Alexandra, are you here? Tamar, Alexandra? No? Still Mauricio Alberto, not here yet. Carlos Aníbal Martínez, Ronald. Okay, let's see whom else is missing. Karina Beatriz Núñez de Figueroa. Not yet. Okay. When you're ready, tell me. So look at the first one. You say, if you are well, the question should be, how are you? If you have questions, do it, okay? Feel free to do it. Don't be afraid.
How much the price of the car? La dos.
Okay, the price of the car. How much? Okay, you can say only how much is the car.
How
You don't
much?
need to say, okay, yeah, you don't need to say the price. You know how, when you say, for example, how much is the apple? How much is the computer? How much is the cell phone? Or you can say, what's the price? What's the price of the car? What's the price of the cell phone? But you cannot say, how much is the price? No, it's only how much, okay? You say the price of the car, so how much is the car? That's it, okay? Simple question, how much is the car?
How much is this car?
The car, this car, sorry, how much is this car? For
Okay.
example, if you
Okay,
go
thank
shopping, you say, how much is this car? How much is this computer? Oh, remember that. How much is that car? If you point, how much is that car?
you. Okay.
In general, should be how much is the car? In general.
Teacher, the
Mhm.
word
So
cost
simple
no
question.
work here.
Which one, Armando?
Cost.
No, you don't use it. Okay, yeah, you can use it, but remember, it depends on the question. If you are making question with how, you say, how much is the car? If you want to use the word cost, in that case, you can say, how much does the car cost? Okay? But, I mean, if you are going to use cost, you have to use the question with to. Okay, how much does the car cost? In that case, yes. But if you make the question with how much, you cannot say cost. You have to use the auxiliary do or that. How much does this car cost? But in general sense, with the verb to be, only say how much is this car. But with the verb to be, remember, you cannot use another verb with the verb to be. You say, for example, I work, but you cannot say I am work. Or I eat every day, but you cannot say I am eat every day. They cannot be together. So how much is this car? Or how much does the car cost? In that case, yes. It depends on the question.
Thank you.
Okay, number 3 is the age of your brother.
Oh,
How old your
How
brother?
old?
Okay,
How old?
okay, but yeah, make the question complete. How
How
old?
old is your brother?
Exactly. How old is your brother? Okay, how old is your sister? How old is your father? How old is your mother? How old are they? Okay, complete question. How old is your brother? Okay, good. Remember, you have to learn how to make questions. Number 4 is
Okay.
the length of the flight. Length is long. Okay. Okay. The length of the flight. Okay. Possible question?
How long is the
Yeah,
flight?
how long is the flight exactly?
How
How
long
long?
left? How long left the flight?
How long is? How long is the flight? Okay. How about number 5? The distance to the airport.
How tall?
How far?
Distance. Remember distance. How far exactly distance?
How far is the airport?
How far?
How far is the airport? How far is the Comalapa airport from San Salvador? Tell me. Do you have any idea how far
No,
is Comalapa airport from San Salvador?
Uh,
Oh, you say
I
it's
don't know.
about,
So far.
okay, yeah, so far. So let's suppose you say it's about
If
30
your
kilometers,
interview went well.
okay? It's about 30 kilometers, okay? Good. So how far is the airport? Okay, you're doing good. Remember, you are learning how to make questions. Is your interview went well? Is your interview went well?
how well? How well
Exactly. How
your,
well?
how
Okay,
well
yeah, in this
your
case,
interview?
yeah, but in this case, it says when is the past tense. Your interview went well. So the question should, how well
How well
was your
interview?
interview? How well was, past tense, past, W-A-S. How well was your, you
Your
say it was
interview.
very good interview, okay? Remember, an interview is when you are looking for a job. So the question should be, how well was your,
Después de how well
Was.
was
W?
pasado.
Okay, listen. No, W-A-S.
Sí,
W,
estar en pasado.
yes, was. W-A-S. That's it. Was. Next classes, we're going to study the past tenses. Was and did and so on. Next classes. Okay, you say the interview was well or the interview went well. Okay. Went well like this or was well. No problem.
How well was.
Okay, next. Next is the amount of water in the bottle. The amount of water in the bottle.
How much water in the bottle?
How much water is there? Remember, it is and there are, right? There is singular, there are plural. Just like how much water is there in the bottle?
How much
How much
water
water is there
is
in the bottle?
there in the bottle?
In the bottle. Okay, how much water
Okay, thank you.
is there? Remember, there is, there are. So when you make a question, is there, are there? For example, if I ask you, how many people are there in your family? Okay, you say, how much water is there in the bottle? Okay, last one. The speed of the train.
Oh, fast.
How fast is the train?
Exactly. How
is
fast?
speed in the train.
Okay, good. You're doing good so far.
Yeah.
How fast is the train? Okay, let's continue. No question with this? Is it clear? Yes? No problem. Question with how? Okay, I'm gonna move to another, the last one. Okay, do you understand the question using how? So far, yes, okay. Okay, now let's move on to this one. I saw some of you already did it. Okay, hold on. Okay, here. I was I was checking. I don't know if you in the WhatsApp group already. Okay, here. I was checking. All of you have already made this. Gonna make questions. Okay, so instruction you have here in Spanish. The instructions. Complete the following. Guide yourself with answer. Choose from how often, how well, how good, or how long. Okay. Look at the answer first.
I guess I
Look at the
pretty
answer.
good. I often play on weekends.
How
Well,
often?
remember,
How good at
How good
how,
are you?
how
how
good at
often, how
volleyball?
well, good, how long. Okay, read the
How good?
answers.
Good.
At
The
volleyball,
number
I
one
guess
is
I'm pretty okay. How good? You
how
already
good.
have the answer here. Okay, pretty good. Okay, how good are you at volleyball? I guess I'm play on weekend. Okay, how good?
Not good.
The question.
How good.
Okay.
How good do
Number
you
two. Yeah. No, remember, no, only how good at. Okay, how good are you?
Are
Remember the
you?
question. How good are you at volleyball?
how
Yeah.
good are you?
Are
Okay.
you?
Yes, yes, remember the question. How good are you at? How good are you at soccer? Remember the questions we did yesterday. How good are you at soccer game? Okay, write the question. How good are you at volleyball? Okay, how about number two? Spend online.
How long
About
do you
an
spend on
hour
time?
How
after
long?
dinner. How long?
How
Okay, how
long
long
do you?
do you spend exactly? How long do you? How long do you spend? Okay, how long do you spend online? About an hour after dinner. I like to chat with my friends. Number three, the last one.
How often?
Play
How
cards.
often?
Play cards.
Okay, once, twice a week. Or how often do you remember? How often
How
do
often
you
do you play
Play
cards?
cards?
you play cards? Exactly. How often do you play cards? Next, number four,
Well,
tie.
how
Not
well?
very
How
well,
well can
actually.
you
Okay, how well do you type? How well do you type? Or how well can you type? Okay, this is not very well. Actually, I have to take typing class. Okay,
okay?
question. Okay, homework for you. For tomorrow, we don't have classes, right? No class tomorrow. Okay, for next class, please. Okay, for next class, I want you to, okay, write a sentence using all these questions. How old, how fast, how long, how deep, how wide, how tall, how big, and how often. Okay? Write a sentence, a question using 8 sentences for one for each. Okay, for next class, please do it. And on next class, you're gonna give me your own sentences. Okay, or let's do one thing. Write the sentences and send them to the WhatsApp group. I'm gonna check them on the WhatsApp group. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Remember, one sentence with the 8 question with how deep, how long, how wide, how big, and so far, okay? And send them
Okay.
to the WhatsApp group. I'm gonna check them. Okay, I guess time's up. We finished. Thank you again for being here. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you on next class. Okay? Be
Thank
good,
you, teacher.
behave. Okay, you too.
Have a nice
Okay,
weekend.
bye-bye. You too. Have a nice
Bye.
weekend too. Take
Good
care.
night, teacher.
Thank you.
Good night to you.
Okay, bye. Samar, bye.
Good
La
night.
Graciela, bye.
Thank
All of
you.
Okay, be good, okay? Don't forget the homework and send them by the WhatsApp group, okay? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Enjoy.